Hey Brian, welcome to Reheart Liquors.
I couldn't help but notice that I looked up there and I saw you had Blanton's.
Yeah, right here.
So I got $80. So is that enough to buy at?
No, that's we sell it here for $199.99.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't have enough money for that, so.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to find some alternatives.
What am I gonna do now? I guess I'm gonna have to go. First, I'm probably gonna have to go to another liquor store. But no, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever seen a bottle and then find out that it's way overpriced, but you still got $80 in your hand and you're ready to spend it?
Right.
So this video, that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about what you can buy under $80 that's similar to Blanton's. And then also what you can buy with that money that maybe just is as good or better, maybe not in the same category.
Right.
But we're going to kind of take that in a different spin for you.
So this is a great way to find out some of those alternatives to Blanton's. You know, Brian, of course, like you said, you're going to do the price, what you can get for the money, and I'm going to try to match. Not match, but try to come close on what might be more palatable for the palate. So, do you want to get started or do you want me to?
I could do the first one and then you could. We have two that are kind of similar.
Yeah.
Maybe we can kind of say why we did that one. But the John J. Bowman single barrel. Now this one is a little harder to find, but what I did was kind of pull things that either would be on the shelf or there's a good chance that it would be on the shelf. So this is kind of rumored to be. It's made by not rumored. It is made by Sazerac, and it's from the same mash bill as like Elijah or E.H. Taylor.
E.H. Taylor, that's right.
So you're going to be getting similar profiles. And it's really solid.
Yeah.
So that's the first pick. If you can't find Blanton's, and you've got this comes in. It's about $55, so it's a little cheaper. So you're going to save about $25-$30.
If I'm not mistaken, this might be distilled in Frankfurt, and then they take it over to Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like he said, that we have something similar. If you cannot find Blanton's, but you want something to kind of match the flavor profile, this is the Bowman Brothers small batch. Just the batched version of that John J. Bowman. This one clocks in at 90 proof, so it's just a few proof points shy of hitting that 93 for Blanton's, but that's a one that I really like. There's a good cherry note on that one.
Yes, there is. Definitely good stuff. So, okay, and then so the second up, and everybody knows this one, but it's hard not to talk about it. When in doubt, going with a Wild Turkey Rare Breed is never going to be a bad decision. Obviously not in the same ballpark as far as proof, but it just drinks so well, and it's just everybody knows that this is just so good.
Right. And if you haven't found out by now, we love Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
So because we've got a little bit of a theme going here, because my next one is obviously a bottle that I'm going to be talking about a whole heck of a lot throughout this YouTube channel journey, and that is Russell's 10-year. I would say that this is better than Blanton's, especially for the availability and the price. This Russell's Reserve 10-year small batch comes in at 90 proof. You can find it, the price is starting to go up a little bit, $30 to $40. Although this is a 10-year bourbon.
Yeah, to get a 10-year bourbon for $30. Yeah.
This is aged, I think, maybe 6 years.
I think it's
10 years. I love the vanilla notes on this. I think this always has a really good nose as well. So if you can't find Blanton's, heck, pass on Blanton's and get Russell's Reserve 10-year. That's my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
I love Blanton's.
Save your $50.
Yeah. So. I love Blanton's.
Okay. And then the next one would be your Old Forester 1920. It's in about the price of this has gone up a little bit. It's around $60, so that one's going to save you probably $20. Maybe. Well, I guess if you get it at retail.
If you go to Reheart Liquors, it's going to save you a lot.
Right,
we sell for $200.
Right, yeah, you're way overpriced here. But no, the Old Forester. If this brings out, it comes out. It's 115 proof. So some of these I'm showing are a little bit more proof here. But the 1920 just tastes so good. You get the normal stuff you get from Old Forester. Your banana, your fruits, and just different. It has a great profile. It's one of my favorites. So
good stuff. Next one that I have, this ought to be pretty obvious. Regular old Buffalo Trace. Now, you might have a hard time coming across this. It can be a bit evasive for a lot of people out there. Fortunately, in our area, we see it
usually around. Yeah.
You know what? I saw this at Walmart. a few weeks ago. It had 2 bottles on the shelf, and I can't remember what it was priced at, but I think it was like $25. So if you do find this, I mean, don't pay more than $30, obviously, for Buffalo Trace, but a lot of flavor notes here. This is just a good brown sugar note, and definitely something, if you cannot find Blanton's and you stumble across that, be sure to pick it up.
Yep, definitely. So, okay, well, the next offering I've got is Maker's Mark Cash Strength. This one gets slept on a lot, I think, but it is so good. It's a weeded, obviously a weeded bourbon. I think it's around 109.6. They vary a little bit on that one, but yeah, somewhere around 110. Just get a lot of good rye spice notes on that. Just it packs a punch, but it's good, and all the true. Just you get all your just normal bourbon taste out of that, but for $40, $45, it's really hard to beat. And like I said, a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's just solid.
And I think that goes for Maker's Mark in general. That people kind of sleep on Maker's Mark. I think maybe they're starting to get in more into that special release stuff. Not starting to, they have done it for a little while. It's just not made as much noise maybe, but just churning out really good bourbon in Maker's Mark. And it's got a place in my heart because it's one that I started on. Next bottle for me, I don't know if this really matches Blanton's very well at all, but I just think it's a good, solid bourbon and one that is no longer allocated. Right. So this should be in your area now or on its way. Should be between $40 and $50, maybe $55. You're going to get a little bit more proof out of it, and this is just sweet. It's a very sweet bourbon.
7 year age statement.
7 year age statement. Very sweet. Bottled in bond, so it's right at 100 proof. No other reason as do I just think that this is a really good, sweet bourbon. And especially for people who are after Blanton's that might not be as experienced in bourbon, I think that's going to be very palatable to you.
Right, definitely. Okay, and then the last, I got 2 bottles, but they're obviously in the same family, but I got your Knob Creek single barrel. And then I also have Knob Creek 12. These are both ones that you might have trouble finding, but they are available. I see the 12 available more than I do the single barrel. And the single barrel is around 55 to 60, and same thing on the 12. I think it's around 65 to 68. So you're in the same price category. But Knob Creek, you get a good, like I said, you get that Jim Beam nut flavor. You get a lot of you get barrel, but you get it in a good way. It just they drink. I think the proof is there, but they just drink so smooth. Yeah. But these are ones that are maybe a little bit harder to find. But if you came across them and they didn't have Blanton's, you're not gonna be upset if you pick up one of those.
Yeah, so. Not impossible to find, right? We see Knob Creek 12, I think, a couple times in our area. We're in Indiana, and in case you didn't know that, if we haven't mentioned it for a little while, we do see that. Now the Knob Creek single barrel, I think that's a little bit harder for us to find. You don't really see it.
I found that when I was in Kentucky. I don't know. Like I said, it was a store pick. Okay. And John O's, I think, or John, I believe that's how you say it. Yeah. I was down there for basketball and found that, so I was excited to get that.
Yeah. So. My last one is a Sazerac product, and that is 1792 small batch. That I think might match the profile the closest if you were going to go for something close to it. I just think that's an overall really good bourbon, and guess what? You're going to save a lot of money because I think you can sometimes find that for less than $30.
Yeah, right around
$35. So that's all you're going to be out, and that is super readily available. This is easy to find. This is easy to find. These two you're not going to see as much. You're probably going to start seeing this a little bit more. In fact, I think our Sam's Club had this. So, you're definitely going to come across those. And, if you are comfortable with paying a little bit more for Blanton's, I'd say don't pay more than what, Brian?
I wouldn't pay more than $80. Until the market changes, it may go up like everything else is, and that may be the new. It may reset, but I think if you look hard enough and get in good relations with your store owners and and managers, you should be able to get it at retail, which I think is still $68, somewhere in that 60 to 60. Yeah, somewhere in that 60 to 68 range.
I think at the distillery it's $63, and we live about 2 hours from the distillery, so I actually make my way there quite a bit. I don't travel specifically to the distillery. I'm passing by, and Blanton's has been there a couple of times. So if you're ever in that area in Frankfort, Kentucky, be sure to do that and get a chance at a Blanton's. But with that, I think for me, 80 even seems a little bit steep. But if I didn't have one,
like I said, I paid $100 for my first one on my birthday. It was really cool.
It was a splurge.
But it worked out well, and I wouldn't pay that again.
No,
but I was glad to pay it at the time to get it into my collection.
Sometimes you have to do that, and there's no judgments. If that's you're the person who you're the customer. So you determine the price. If it's something you're comfortable with, and if it's something that you haven't had, and it's something that you really want, go for it. But for me, I think I'm sticking around $70. $80 I think is fair though, if you don't have one and you want one, or if you've been looking for one to replace in your collection. I don't think 80 is that bad.
Right. So hopefully we gave you some good choices. If you get out, can't find Blanton's or it's overpriced, and you don't want to spend that much, that you can go in a lot of different directions. Some that might be a little bit of more of a splurge, and some that might be in the same profile. So hopefully we've helped you out in that category.
And don't worry, I'm not going to start a liquor store. And if I did, I would charge you MSRP. So, all right, well, that does it for this episode. Like we always say, when you're with your family and your friends, share your whiskey.